Good afternoon and welcome to the September meeting of the Finance Committee. First up on the agenda is the adoption of the meeting minutes from the July 19th, 2016 meeting of the Finance Committee. Everyone had a chance to review those meeting notes and meeting minutes. Can I get a motion to approve those?
Motion.
Second. Thank you. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Hearing none. That carries. We just have two financings to review today. First up is behind tab 4, and that's going to present, and that's the court facilities lease revenue bond. County of Westchester.
Good afternoon. The Finance Committee is asked to recommend to the full board a 7-year fixed-rate tax-exempt bond issue in an amount not to exceed $28 million on behalf of Westchester County Court Facilities. The project that's under consideration is the refunding of DASNY's Court Facilities Lease Revenue Bonds, the County of Westchester issue, Series 2006A and Series 2006B. The security features include annual appropriations by Westchester County, an intercept of New York State assistance to the county in the event of non-appropriation by the county, and as of December 31st, 2015, the total amount of operating aid available for intercept was approximately $47.7 million as compared to approximately $12.4 million of maximum annual debt service, providing for coverage of 3.85 to 1. The expected ratings of the proposed DASNY bond issue are AA2, AA+, and AA+. Regarding Westchester County, it has a population of approximately 976,000. It has a large and varied economic base with many corporate headquarters, research facilities, and manufacturing firms. It is one of the most affluent counties in the United States and is rated AA1, AAA, and AAA. As the Westchester County Court Facilities bond issue is based on annual appropriations, the proposed DASNY bond issue is expected to be rated one notch lower than the county's general obligation bonds. Regarding the refunding, the county is proposing to use bond proceeds and existing funds on hand to currently refund DASNY's Court Facilities Lease Revenue Bonds, Series 2006A and Series 2006B outstanding. A savings report is provided in Attachment 1, and under current market conditions, a net present value benefit of approximately $1.4 million is anticipated, or 4.9% of the refunded bonds. The county is proposing to structure the refunding to take the savings up front in the first year, and under current market conditions, approximately $3.8 million of gross savings are anticipated in 2017. And just as a final note, as an update to the Finance Committee, Westchester County's Committee on Budget and Appropriations and Infrastructure has received the refinancing item and has filed it, and it's under review. They have reviewed the refinancing and they are ready to recommend it to the full county board on Monday, September 12th.
Thank you. Any questions for Sarah?
Mike or Debbie, should we then approve this conditionally? Should we?
No, I don't think we've ever done that, but all we're doing to effectuate the refunding that what technically involves the county is amending our financing agreement with them.
Yes.
And all we're going to do is attach a new debt service schedule, which technically doesn't require any action on their part. But we didn't want to get too far ahead of them,
sure.
So we came to the conclusion, working with bond counsel, that the fact that this has been approved by sort of the equivalent of their executive committee and is on the agenda for their next full legislative meeting, we got comfortable that it was okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would vote when the vote comes.
Was it a unanimous approval of the committee, or?
I believe the way it works, what their committee is, I think it's akin to a finance committee. It's the Committee on Budget and Appropriations and Infrastructure. As there are savings, as they are comfortable with the structure of the financing, they have reviewed it and they are ready to recommend it to the full board.
They have recommended it. They have recommended it. That I heard.
Okay. They've recommended it, now it's working through.
Terrific.
Okay, got that. Thank you very much for clarifying that. Any other concerns, questions? Hearing none, then please get a motion to recommend approval of this at tomorrow's board meeting.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you very much, Matt. Next and last up is the new school behind tab 5, and Dave's going to present. Dave, thank you.
Good afternoon. The Finance Committee is being asked to recommend to the full board one or more series of tax-exempt and/or taxable fixed and/or variable rate bonds with terms not to exceed 35 years and an amount not to exceed $470 million on behalf of the new school. The new school has issued over $650 million through DASNY dating back to 1967, with the most recent issuance of $124.3 million occurring in May of last year. Proceeds from this issuance will be used for both new money and refunding purposes. The new money proceeds will be used to finance the purchase of a building located at 40 West 14th Street in Manhattan, which is expected to be utilized in the future to replace instructional space that is currently housed in another building being leased by the university. That facility, which is located at 79 Fifth Avenue, is being leased through 2028, at which point the university expects to renovate and move into the new building to be financed with this bond issuance. In the interim, that facility, 40 West 14th Street, will continue to house existing retail and office space. Bond proceeds will also be used to refund all or a portion of DASNY's Series 2010 and/or Series 2011 bonds. Assuming current market conditions, a total net present value savings in the range of $32.4 million, or 12.2% of the refunded bonds, is expected to be achieved through the proposed refunding. As far as security for this transaction, the new school's outstanding obligations are currently rated A3 by Moody's and A- by S&P, both carrying a stable outlook. So in accordance with DASNY's financing guidelines, the university does qualify for an unsecured borrowing with a rating of A3, A- or better. As such, the loan agreement for the 2016 bonds is expected to be a general unsecured obligation of the university, with no security interest in the revenues or assets of the university required to be granted under the loan agreement. You'll recall that the 2015 bonds were issued prior to changes in DASNY security guidelines and did contain a revenue pledge and a mortgage. So security pledged by the university under that loan agreement, as well as previous bond issues that will not be refunded, will remain in place until those bonds are no longer outstanding. As far as the credit of the new school has experienced strong demand and generally stable enrollment in recent years. Applications have increased by 52% between fall of 2011 and fall of 2015, with the most significant increase coming between fall of 2014 and 2015, where improvements in recruiting and a significant rebranding effort drove a nearly 30% increase in applications. Total enrollment for fall of 2015 was 10,405 students. The new school's strategic plan calls for the university to continue to maintain student enrollment at approximately 10,000 students, reducing the size of some programs while growing in areas where there is strength and capacity, such as the Parsons School for Design, which accounts for 1/2 of the new school total enrollment. The new school has posted positive operating margins in each of the last 5 years, with net operating margins averaging 1.4% annually. And more importantly, those operating margins remain positive for both fiscal year 2014 and 2015, as construction of the new University Center increased depreciation and other operating expenses. The university's balance sheet does remain highly leveraged, primarily due to the addition of $301.1 million in long-term debt to finance the University Center. Debt service comprised 8.6% of operating expenses, which was higher than the DASNY median of 4.2%. So while the issuance of approximately $150 million in new money debt from the proposed issuance will increase balance sheet leverage as well as annual debt service, management expects that the rental income from that new facility will partially, or at least partially, offset debt service on the new money bonds over the next 10 years. And beyond 2028, once the university moves into that facility, they expect that the debt service will be less than they currently pay as a lease expense on 79 Fifth Avenue. In addition, the proposed refunding is expected to reduce debt service on the 2010 bonds by over $1 million annually. To offset the additional debt, the university will need to continue to grow its financial resources And over the last 5 years, unrestricted net assets have increased by 57.5%, much of that due to the sale of some of the university's properties in connection with its campus consolidation. All of those proceeds have been invested back into the university's endowment. And this campus consolidation is an important part of the strategic plan of the university. In recent years, the new school has moved its schools to central locations at Greenwich Village to create a more cohesive campus, with the campus now consolidated around the university center. So a number of programs that were previously housed in leased space have been moved to that university center. And the purchase to be financed with this proposed issuance continues with that effort to reduce the reliance on leased space and consolidating around the university center. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Questions?
No questions, Mr. Chairman. I might have had some concerns earlier, but I think David has done a terrific job of answering my questions. And I just want to say thank you. So it's great to feel very good about doing this.
I just had two different, the existing, is there an existing lease or a number of leases existing on this building already?
There are
Are they
current.
long-term leases or is?
Yes, there are current tenants in the building that will be purchased.
And the school doesn't currently lease any space there, right? These
No,
are just
they
independent?
don't. No, this building is new to them.
So the point is they're buying this building with the expectation at some point they'll either demo it and rebuild on it, or when these other leases expire?
Exactly. So when their lease is up on the other facility right around 2028, their plan is to renovate this facility, the new building, and then move all of that instructional space into the new building. And then, but therefore eliminating the lease on the Fifth Avenue.
Have they got an appraisal for this building, or?
I believe they do. I don't have that information in front of me, but I believe they do have an appraisal on the building to be purchased.
And is the mortgage on that building going to secure this?
There will, as of right now, there is no plan to secure this financing with a mortgage.
And we do our own internal, or that there's no relationship between the current owner of that building and there's nothing. I'm looking at the value of the building, just to make sure it's a fair purchase price and.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had the number in front of me. You know, I think one of the reasons that they're making this strategic decision is because they feel like this is a good purchase price, and to make that move now, because this is really something that's not going to take place until, 10 years from now, where they actually move into this space.
But the current leases that are in effect will carry the debt load on this building for a number of years anyway?
That's what I'm told by management, that the rent coming in from the existing tenants will at least partially offset the debt service they're paying on the new money loans.
Any questions, anything else?
No, nothing. Thank you.
Hearing none, can I get a motion to recommend approval at tomorrow's board meeting?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. That motion carries. Unless there's any other matters that you'd like to raise, I'll then request a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? Thank you. All in favor, aye. Any opposed? None. Thank you very much. We're done.
We're finished.